Oh, all right. After searching for a little while, we did find this guy. He gave us a run around Park City for a little while, but we do have a few questions for you, and forgive me if I don't pronounce everything correctly. So
It's fine.
there's only about 14 questions here.
All right.
You got your fans want to know. So, did Nemesis start out as a part of Naya in their universe, or were they originally recruited from the Niantic project?
Great question. So Nemesis is a parallel universe. Basically, it's identical in almost every single way to our Niantic project researchers.
Okay.
So, we've got the 12 researchers who are at the moment trapped in the Abaddon chamber because of Nemesis. But Nemesis is identical in every way to the researchers in our world, but they're from a different universe. And the universe that they're from is one that got overrun by the Shapers and the Nazir and basically decimated their world. Totally decimated it. And it's very possible that they've come to our world to basically destroy Ingress in order to stop an ingression of exogenous beings. So they're here to save us, but they're doing it in pretty evil ways by killing researchers and so I was hired by them. I'm not from the Nemesis world at all. I'm just a consultant.
Yeah.
I was hired by them when I saw kind of their tactics and methods. It just seemed pretty evil, and so that's why I'm double agent. And under this blue field, I think we're okay at the moment.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, define who or what is Copperplate, and what involvement do they have in Nemesis?
So, Copperplate, there's only so much I can tell you about Copperplate right now.
Okay.
I believe I know who Copperplate is, and all I can say is there may be, I'm not saying they're the same individual because we're dealing with two different universes here, but there is Wendy, there is Clue, there's the Tethered Hand, and there's Ada.
Okay.
And that confluence of four entities may mean something regarding Copperplate.
Right. Okay. And then, do you have any regular contact with the Tethered Hand?
I have never been in the same room. I get dispatches from the Tethered Hand. PAC gets them, but I don't know where the Tethered Hand is. I don't know what the deal with the Tethered Hand is.
So you don't communicate with him?
I do
regularly?
not know. I do not know what his name is.
Okay. And then, how do you communicate with the Nemesis?
Well, Nemesis is easy to communicate with, essentially because Nemesis is always listening. It's only during these anomalous windows like today where it's shut down, the bubble's shut down, they cannot monitor what's happening, that I'm allowed to talk to you. Otherwise, they hear and see everything. They monitor everything on Essex. They monitor everything on comms. They have algorithms that last for decades. It's incredible.
Okay.
But they are more or less all-knowing besides moments of anomalous interface.
And does Nemesis have Ada, like a form of Ada? Or is that basically what you're talking about? That you can see everything, hear everything?
Yes.
Okay. And the Nemesis members are using the faces of our researchers. Are they transmitting them, or is that what they really look like?
That's what they really look like. Yeah, I mean, it is. If you follow string theory, there are infinite universes. We've just been lucky enough to discover proof of one by them entering our reality.
Right. Okay. Are Nemesis a future form of our researchers, or just an alternate universe version?
Alternate, so it's concurrent.
Okay.
It's a good question because there were differences. And I suppose in a sense, the timelines are the same, but in a sense you could think of them as being a little bit more sophisticated because they opened up the ability for the exogenous ingression to happen.
Good, because that goes into my next question
Great.
too. Well, one of the next questions,
Sure.
but yeah. So do you come from the same universe they do, or no?
No, I'm from here. I'm
That's right.
from Lake Tahoe.
Okay. All right, so this one, forgive me if I get lost here, but do you think the tessellation challenge results, considering the hexagon grid, is a representation of part of our membrane, can influence the ingression of the exogenous? I mean, if Rez wins, it will be more permeable for Nazir, or if Enlighten wins, more to the Shapers.
That's correct.
And And if Nemesis wins, not permeable to the exogenous. I mean,
Exogenous.
yeah. Do
I
you
think
think the objective of the Nemesis is to use the tessellation to lock more possible hexagon and avoid the?
I think
aggression?
the idea for Nemesis right now is to supplant misinformation, as
Right.
much misinformation as they can. So when they successfully place one of the Tessera, you have to question, like, is that accurate or not? The more misinformation that they can spread in our universe, the less likely it is that that the exogenous, these alien entities, are going to take over and destroy our planet.
Perfect. Okay, a couple more questions. We're all done, buddy.
Sure.
Do you know how many prime objects are inside the bubble?
How many
And which are?
inside the bubble?
Yep.
I believe it's around. Well, it's a good question because you're asking how many have been like acquired in the past. I mean, there are generally, you could claim 12 fish,
Okay.
maybe more prime objects, but as far as them all being in the bubble themselves, we know some are.
Do you know which ones are?
We know that the Osiris stone is in there. We know that many prime, like Osiris coins, are in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do know that there's, the Tecthulu, which isn't exactly a prime artifact, but it is there. There's a Dunraven chamber inside the anomalous bubble. I hope this is making sense.
Perfect sense.
Great.
I don't know about these guys, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, and then what do you know about the connection between different prime artifacts known as the Internet of Prime Objects?
What was that?
What do you know about the connection between different prime artifacts known as the Internet of Prime Objects?
The Internet of Prime Objects. I can't speak to that at this moment,
Okay.
unfortunately. Sorry, Essex.
And then do you know anything about the Undines?
The Undines? Yeah, the
Yeah.
Undine Silica? Yeah, the aqua-based... I do.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big, long question, but the Undine Silica was something that was very relevant to Hank Johnson, 1218 Hank Johnson, so, the ruggedly handsome Hank Johnson.
Okay.
And that was also related to Courier. I know a lot of people were disheartened to find out that Hank Johnson was Courier, but it's not necessarily your Hank Johnson. It is a Hank Johnson.
Hey, Johnson. All right, buddy. Well, that's all I got for you.
Wonderful.
So thank you for answering all our questions. I appreciate it.
Wonderful, and I got